Hello, my dear learners. Welcome to a new session here at Skillfident with your mentor, Namita. In today's class, we are going to upgrade our speaking skills. We will try to substitute the usual mundane sentences with some advanced expressions so that we can actually upskill our communication game. And to do that, we will learn some binomials today. Now, what are binomials? Binomials are those expressions which are made up of two words, and these two words are joined by conjunctions, and it makes a wonderful perfect sense. So what are these? Let's dive deep into it and try to learn some binomials today. I hope that all of you are sitting with your pen and notebook. You need to note down each binomial and then listen to what I am saying carefully and how I am forming sentences, and then you have to try to make your own sentences using each one of them. I'm pretty sure that you've heard of most of them, but how to use them has always been challenging. So let's try to learn these. The very first binomial is short and sweet. Short and sweet. Now we say short and sweet meetings, we always talk about it. Let's keep it short and sweet. So when I say short and sweet, it means something which is not too long or complicated. It can be a meeting, it can be a feedback, it can be an answer. Anything which is not very long and complicated is addressed using this binomial, which is short and sweet. Now, listen to this sentence carefully. Since time is limited, so please keep your remarks short and sweet. Now, I have used it for remarks. How are you going to use short and sweet is something which you'll write down in your notebook. Moving on to the second binomial. It is hard and fast. Hard and fast. I am sure you've heard it somewhere related to rules. People say, oh, there is no hard and fast rule. Haven't you heard of it? Now, hard and fast means a rule that is not flexible, something that cannot be changed under any circumstances. Then we use this phrase hard and fast. Listen to this sentence and it will be completely clear to you. There are no hard and fast rules about learning English. Everybody can use their own practical methods and start speaking English on their own. And this is something which I keep telling you here on this channel. Self-learning is the best way to acquire this skill. If you really want to improve your communication skills in English, then there is no hard and fast rule. Whatever works the best for you, start working on it and keep practicing. That's it. So there is no hard and fast rule. Moving on to the third binomial, it is touch and go. Touch and go. Now, touch and go means not certain. Something which comes with the risk of death or serious failure is when we use touch and go. Now, let's have a look at a sentence and then you'll be able to use it in a more simple manner. The surgery had been touch and go for him in the hospital, but he had eventually recovered. Now, you can also use touch and go in those sensitive situations. Let's move on to the fourth one, which is ifs and buts. I am sure you've heard of it many times. Ifs and buts. Ifs and buts means objections or the reasons why someone doesn't want to do something. You know, the excuses that people keep giving. So we use ifs and buts. Suppose if your mother is telling you to clean the room, or if the mother is really finicky about hygiene, then you will be instructed that I want no ifs and buts about cleaning. Get up and tidy your room now. So cleaning is something we must take care of. So how can you use ifs and buts? Endless ways, endless sentences. Create a few of your own. The next expression is more or less. More or less. Now, more or less is a perfect substitution for almost. The way you use almost, you can use more or less in exactly the same manner. Have a look at a sentence. Now, the cricket team is more or less the same as it was the last season. Basically, nothing has changed. It is almost the same with a few slight changes here and there. So you can also use it in those situations where you were using almost till now. Now use more or less instead. The next binomial is aches and pains. Aches and pains. Now it means slight feelings of pain that are not considered to be serious. A little bit of aches here and there. Now for a sentence, I would simply say, apart from the usual aches and pains, she felt all right. After that, minor accident. So you can use it as something which is just bothering you a little physically, not a very serious injury, serious pain of that sort. Now create a sentence of your own using aches and pains. The next expression is trial and error. Trial and error, must have heard of it in your school, trial and error method. Now trial and error means a way of finding a good method that involves trying several possibilities and learning from your own mistakes. What better can be a way to learn something? Now, the sentence would be, I figured out how to use the new software by a process of trial and error. Isn't it something which we all do with technology? Every time a new app pops up or something new comes up, we use trial and error. Where all do you use trial and error in your life? Let me know in the comment section. Alright, moving on to the next binomial, on and off or off and on. We use it both the ways, on and off or off and on. Now, it means from time to time or now and again. We also use the expression now and again along with on and off. Simple, the most common example would be, it rained on and off all day yesterday, or it was raining off and on the whole day. Like this, you can use off and on and off both the way. Now, how are you going to use it? Write down a sentence. The next binomial is hustle and bustle, and it is my favorite one. Hustle and bustle. Hustle and bustle means a lot of noise and activity around, and you can hear a lot of people laughing, a lot of traffic noise and whatnot. You are staying somewhere where there is a lot of hustle and bustle. Listen to this example and then you'll start using it more often. I'm pretty sure about that. The people who love the hustle and bustle of city life would get bored in the countryside. Don't you agree with this one? The people who are staying in villages, who are staying in the rural areas, not the urban parts of our country, they are living peacefully. But once you get used to this urban culture, the city life, the hustle culture, you really cannot survive in those peaceful environment. Whether you agree with me or not, let me know. So create a sentence using hustle and bustle. Now the next binomial is wear and tear. Wear and tear. Now this means the damage that happens to an object in ordinary use during a period of time. When you use something regularly, it undergoes some wear and tear, and that's absolutely normal. We can say seat covers on buses take a lot of wear and tear with different passengers sitting on it every day. So wear and tear is again very common expression. Use it, try to create a sentence of your own, and then you'll be able to speak it when you are having conversations with people. Now the next binomial is by and large. By and large. Now by and large can be a perfect substitution for mostly or for in general or even on the whole. If you're using on the whole or you are trying to say in general or mostly, it can very easily be substituted with by and large. Listen to this example. By and large, in every office, the emphasis is always on recruiting the right people. So mostly the emphasis is on that, or in general the emphasis is on recruiting the right people, or on the whole the company looks for more qualified and experienced employees, like this. So you can use by and large very easily in your sentences. Try creating one at least. The next binomial is pros and cons, and it is a very common one. Pros and cons. Everything has its own pros and cons. It is advantages and disadvantages. Everything has its both sides, the advantages and disadvantages. Just like we say, there are two sides to every coin. So pros and cons, advantages or disadvantages. Listen to this very meaningful sentence. We must weigh up pros and cons of social media before spending hours on it. And isn't it happening with all of us? We are just spending hours sitting in front of our screens, the phone screens, the computer screens, just scrolling through social media. If you think it has advantages, it has numerous disadvantages as well. So your homework for today is you have to try to speak about both the sides of social media, its advantages and disadvantages, and you can write at least 5 each, 5 advantages, 5 disadvantages to me and send it on my email, Skillfident with Namita. That's your homework for the day. And try using pros and cons in various sentences. You can use that. That's a very simple one. The next binomial is mix and match. Mix and match. Now, mix and match means to combine things in different ways for different purposes. You're just mixing and matching up things. Listen to this example. You can mix and match different activities for learning English according to your own requirements. So you don't have to stick to just one method. People will come and say, listen to more people speaking, listen to more videos, listen to more audios, listen to more podcasts. Only listening should not be your ultimate activity. It has to be a mix and match of a lot of activities. In fact, your practice must involve a bit of listening, a lot of reading, some bit of writing, and a lot of speaking. It has to be a mix and match of all the skills. Then you'll be a fluent English speaker very, very soon. How else you can use mix and match in your sentences? Give it a try. Now, last but not the least binomial for today is bits and pieces. Bits and pieces. Now, bits and pieces is used for small things or jobs of different types. A very simple example would be, I need to get a few bits and pieces at the supermarket, but don't worry, it won't take long. Bits and pieces, bits and bobs also people use it. So when you have to do various activities. So this is how you can use bits and pieces. There can be a lot more ways. You have to figure it out for yourself. So these were the binomials. Keep practicing these kind of things. Keep incorporating them in your speech, and you'll feel that you're actually upgrading your English speaking skills. It is not that if you are being able to speak English fluently or you can speak a few sentences, it is enough. You have to keep working on taking them to the next level. So here on Skillfident, we keep upgrading our skills, right? So this is one of those videos. I hope this session was really helpful. You've learned something new. You've noted them all down. You're going to try creating sentences. As always, my best wishes are always with you. Keep practicing your English. Keep improving your communication skills every day. I'll see you in my next session. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye-bye for now.